Trial.
Yes, David.
There were a few things that you touched
Trial.
the topic of in this class where I wanted to ask both of you if you can just speak a little bit more about it.
Trial.
There was this conversation about the guru and the one empowering others. I always thought that guru energy has to have an evil energy attached, otherwise it's empowerment.
Trial.
But
What?
yeah,
What?
yes, if you are
If
a
it
guru,
doesn't have an evil intent on it, it's empowerment?
I thought to have this guru
Trial.
attitude, you have to have this evil attention, evil agenda attached. Otherwise, it's. And then when you mentioned that conversation with Dylan, you asked me the same, and I was like, "Why? I don't have bad intentions." So can you?
You don't have bad intentions, but you have good intentions, which is bad.
Trial.
What if you had no intention and you were still willing to be a guru?
That's very new. I heard
Good
that.
or bad
Trial.
intentions is still positive and negative. It's not choice. True empowerment is choice.
Trial.
It's also not interesting point of view.
Yeah.
So what is that level of interesting point of view that? What
It's
are
the
you
point of view
being?
you don't want to have so that
Trial.
your horse will be down below his knees.
I know it. So
Trial.
I don't get it when you say it this way. Can you be more
Trial.
clear?
Was your horse's head almost down to his knees today?
Yes.
And you noticed that my horse's head was
Trial.
up.
Yes.
Which one of us had more control?
You.
Trial.
Which one of us had more control?
Trial.
You did. Because if you get the horse's head down low enough, and he's
Trial.
behind the bit, he cannot ever run away with you because he can't get his head up high enough to even see where he's going to go.
Yes, and I told you I thought I'm being cautious because this is the first time that
Trial.
Yes,
I'm
I
on
know.
a new horse, and I didn't want to be that
You didn't
unconscious
want to learn
idiot
it.
that.
You didn't want to learn anything, no.
Trial.
So
Trial.
yes, Dane.
No, I'm just having my own awarenesses over here. That's not about you this time.
It's always about
Yeah, but you
David.
also said something. This is the next question. You said
Trial.
stop being a lazy head and
Yes.
thinking it's your space.
Yes.
That.
Yes. Well, so we were riding,
Trial.
and my horse Wapo, he has a way of waking people up
Trial.
especially Dane.
rather dynamically, and number two, there was a sense in my
Trial.
world. So what was happening was David was coming up beside, and they were getting a little bit close, as in rather than I'm here and David's here, his horse was coming this way and also walking up closer. And David was
Trial.
slow in his head. He was
And he was
checked-
making his horse slow in his head in order to be
Right.
conservative
Trial.
and safe.
and the sense that I had was something like he thinks he's being space or something. I didn't know what you were doing, but I said being
Trial.
slow in the head as though that's space, which that's not space. That's slowing everything down as though, oh, wait, that's control. And so when I said that, it was because I had
Trial.
this sense from Wapo that he could very well, if this horse gets much closer, he's
Trial.
going to do something to wake him up. And I'm like, I don't want that for you, because I know what it's like to be kicked when you're on a horse. It's not fun.
Trial.
So, in other words, rather than being present with all of it, you had some point of view that you were functioning from,
Trial.
something you were trying to avoid, something you were trying to defend against, and I say that, and it probably, and I apologize, because probably everything I say sounds intense right now.
Please, that's the only way I get it.
Trial.
Which is why I'm intense with him a lot of times, which he
Yes.
likes and doesn't like.
Yes.
Trial.
Yeah, we both are. And I just say that because I can tell in my,
Trial.
like, things are melting rapidly. A lot of the things that I've been tried to do that I
Trial.
thought were being kind to others, like ways of wrapping myself up, strapping myself up as though that was kind to others are
Trial.
melting. And I'm realizing it's not a kindness to others, it's not a kindness to me, it's not a kindness to the world. It was just limiting me and making me far less happy and way bored. So, bringing that up also.
Trial.
But so in that, it was giving you the awareness so that there wasn't an outcome that was going to be very undesirable.
Trial.
And that was because I was present with my horse and had the sense of the moment where he was like, can I kick him?
Trial.
And I pulled his head over, and then I acknowledged you, because if you were as present as you could be, rather than avoiding
Trial.
the problem that you decided would be if you didn't pre-handle the problem,
And control the shit out of the guy.
which is a presumptive reality that there's going to be a problem unless you do control. And what that was doing was taking you out of being present, because you were
Trial.
continuously looking for the problem that you were trying to avoid, that you were doing the
That
control
you were
to
going to
avoid.
avoid so you could be safe.
So you were putting yourself in a situation where you were about to have a much bigger problem because you were avoiding the problem.
So you were being a Mexican writer.
No, you text me. So
I texted him that.
is that the conversation?
Trial.
I think I know it's from the How to Become Money workbook, Doing Control and Being Control, where you go,
Yes.
being
Trial.
control is total presence.
Yes.
That you-
And doing control is what you were doing today with your horse.
Yes, I was
Trial.
actually, that new horse, don't exaggerate, just make it through the ride, and next day
Trial.
you
Make
might-
it through the ride. Wow. Now that's what I call living.
Wow. That's
Make
called,
if you're a socialist.
that's called Austrian for living.
Trial.
Can I tell you, I have never once climbed on a horse and gone, ooh, I hope I make it through the ride.
Trial.
No, and
Let me
actually,
just make it through the ride. And he has put me on some fucked up horses. Okay, you know how Cody's dad Cody was talking about his dad putting him on all these horses? Gary used to do that with me. And I fucking loved it.
Trial.
But I knew he could handle it. I didn't put him on anything I knew he couldn't
Totally.
handle. Just like, Cody's dad didn't put him on anything he knew he couldn't handle.
Trial.
Yeah,
It's like Cody is so much better than he knows.
Trial.
so when Cody suggests a horse, I shouldn't be worried.
Yeah, you shouldn't be worried
Yes.
because he's not going to put you on something you can't control.
But I also
Try.
like
Thank
but that's it's so interesting because you realize the space you have determines how the situation is going to show up for you,
Yeah.
whether it's a horse or
And the
life.
conclusion
Trial.
is how you use to make it come out the way you think it's going to come out.
Yeah, and it's like sorry, many awarenesses, very
Trial.
few of which have words, but like seeing the thing I can relate to
Trial.
is like we went out the other day shooting. I was going and the guys happened to be there, so I went with Brett and Sean, and Brett's like, I've only shot a gun once before. And Brett was doing what we humanoids have learned to
Trial.
do. At least humanoid men. I think probably humanoid women too, but I know humanoid men. Like, okay, I'm going to approach this from, I'm wrong. Like, I don't really get it. I'm probably going to screw it up. And if I don't, then, okay, well, that's probably going to be okay too.
Trial.
And I was like, dude, you got this. I'm like, look, here's how easy it is. I did it. Sean did it. I'm like, look, you got this. All that shit is just shit. Just shoot.
Trial.
Just look here, shoot, put this over this, pull trigger. boom, 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 boom. Consistent hits. Easy peasy lemon fucking squeezy. Just boom, 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 boom. And Brett goes from
Trial.
to. That was on the first one, right? And then on the second one,
Trial.
when he did it again, he's like, okay, maybe this is repeatable. You know? And then on the third one, he's like, I think this is going to be my life. You know, like that, like in that quick, but that's
That's the way it was when he had sex the first 3 times.
it's going to be my life.
Trial.
You know, but also having people there that are supporting and contributing. The difficulty is what most of us had is every single fucking person in our lives was of doubt, diminishment, wrongness, judgment, and you're so fucking sensitive, simultaneously being so fucking powerful.
And simultaneously being so fucking aware.
Trial.
Which, so to have not had somebody be there with us, and even so to not have had that, we developed a lot of strategies to get by here, to survive. Okay, to make it through the ride. That's basically it.
How
By
many
make it through the
coping
ride.
mechanisms have you
That-
created
Thank you.
to try and handle without changing
Trial.
the electromagnetic programming that you've been subject to?
Trial.
Ow! Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate them all.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Trial.
This
So
is
glad.
fucking incredible.
Cool.
This is a wowie day.
Trial.
Yeah.
Truly. Wowie.
Once you got it, you guys came.
Trial.
People
Thank
at
you.
home are like, oh, I wish I could have come.
You can. Masturbate slowly and come.
Masturbate slowly with this hand. Masturbating slowly with this hand. Hey, why should every woman use these 2 fingers to
Trial.
masturbate? Because they're mine. Whole hand? Oh, whole hand. Sorry. Okay, whole hand. There you go.
Trial.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so did that help, David? Cool. All right.
Trial.
Okay, Nirmala. Ted,
Trial.
check the text, Nirmala. From Sylvia.
My phone died.
Oh. Plug it in.
No, I mean, it died as in the
Trial.
motherboard.
All right, I'll send it via telegram. No, via
Email.
Trial.
PDF it. Send a pigeon.
There you go. PDF, pigeon delivery format.
Trial.
And I had this idea for you. You know how when you say anything that doesn't allow you to laugh at my joke, now
Uh-huh.
you might be able to say, all of your negative, positive, negative doesn't allow you to laugh at my jokes. Just
There you go.
Is it working? There we go.
Trial.
Oh, that's too good.
So I had a bit of a aha moment yesterday when you guys were talking about ungluing your body from this reality.
Trial.
And I know that Gary, years ago, you used to attempt to do the what ESCC can you be to have a physiological
Trial.
reality beyond this reality, and then you kind of gave up because people weren't able to choose it or be it.
I gave up
Trial.
trying to get it to people. Yes. Okay, so
Because I get
I haven't told this story ever.
Trial.
Okay. And I don't want you to make it significant. I just want you to listen, okay? So I was at lunch yesterday and I told the people at lunch this. Okay, so
Trial.
years ago, when I was first traveling with Dane, we went to New York City. He'd never been there. I knew
Trial.
he would enjoy it. And there was a lady there who was having an art opening of
Trial.
pictures she'd done of people who were channelers, and I was a channeler at the time.
Trial.
So she had this picture of me that I walked in, I saw the thing, and I went, holy fuck. And it was a
Trial.
picture of me channeling, eyes closed, had the guy talking through me. And there was a
Trial.
big door, bright white, yellow door.
With flames.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it literally looked like somebody had placed a flaming doorway in this photo.
Right down this part of my body, okay? It was a
Trial.
40-inch by 40-inch picture, photograph,
Trial.
okay? I looked at it and I went, holy fuck, I gotta get out of here. And I said to Dane, I said, that's the doorway to consciousness.
Trial.
And I gotta go through it. We went back to the hotel. I started to get sick.
Trial.
I started to freeze. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't get air.
Trial.
He would go in and take a hot shower for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
15 minutes till he could breathe and get warm.
Yeah,
Come back to bed, I'd start working on him. Mind you, we had MTSS as our body process. Not only that, but I was like a little ESB neophyte. I was like, you know, Baby Groot. You know, I was like, I am ESB. I am ESB. You know, and we had to, early in the morning, we had to rush him to the hospital.
I said, I have to go to the emergency room. I am not able to breathe.
So they put him in ICU, and they put him in that first
Trial.
room, the one where when you die, they wheel you out. So
And
they
they
don't
don't
have to go
want
by
to take
anybody else.
you, by anybody else so that they won't see that somebody died. Okay, most likely to die is first room.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trial.
I knew this. And I'm going, wow, I'm in the first room, gross. They came in, they did tests, they did all kinds of
Trial.
stuff. They cut my neck. You can see the scar there. And they stuck a tube in me to breathe. They came in, they
Trial.
took blood, they did biopsies, they did cultures, they did everything. And they couldn't find anything that
Trial.
would, nothing would culture, nothing would grow, and nothing spread. And
Well, he was in the hospital for about a week. And we used to, and we used to have these cards that said, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, and then you flip it up and it
Trial.
would be your information. And I took one of those and I taped it next to his bed and I said, you fucking say that all day long. And this is my first time in New York. I was there alone. I had some very kind people who were kind enough to take care of me, but every moment I was ESBing him, like long distance ESB, and I was like,
he learned a few things.
yeah, Baby Groot, ESB, you know,
Trial.
continuously. And I remember there was a certain point, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I remember there was a certain point where I went, okay, he's gonna live, this is gonna work, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
Trial.
you know, I go in and one of the things that happened was because he had this tube in his throat, they were going to MRI him to see if they could get more information.
Trial.
They put him down on his back and he can't breathe.
If you did put me flat, I had no capacity to breathe. Only when I was sitting up could I breathe. And I also could not talk. So all I could do was write notes.
Trial.
See, one of the things is when he started channeling the very first time, his channeling of being called Novian.
No, a group of beings called
group of
Novian
beings.
who had never had a body.
And
And they would talk for 10 minutes
Trial.
and then take a breath. And talk for another 10 minutes. And then take a breath. And I would have to scream, take a breath, in my head to get him to take a breath.
Trial.
and little did he know what they were setting him up for.
They were setting me up for being able to handle this. Because they put me in the MRI and they said, sir, you have to breathe. And I
Trial.
couldn't write him a note because it was in the MRI. And I, went, okay, I went,
Trial.
I just moved my chest so I looked like I was breathing.
Trial.
And so he survived the MRI. That was
12
very
minutes.
helpful.
Without breathing.
Trial.
Huh?
Trial.
Yeah, it's normal. But the thing about the MRI, because of the electronics, the magnetics of it, it disconnected me for a few minutes from what was
Trial.
going on. I went, oh, I was supposed to die through all time and all space and all dimensions and all realities simultaneously.
Oh my God.
And I went,
Trial.
I'm not doing this. And whatever it takes, I will bring consciousness to this fucking planet.
Trial.
And that was the moment I made the commitment to where my life goes. And, I said, okay, I'm going to get well now. And the next day I was better.
Trial.
And they said, oh, we're so glad you're better. We have no idea how you got better because none of our drugs worked. Nothing was working before.
Trial.
And like after the MRI, for some reason it worked. And this one lady
Yeah.
who was from the nut job section of the hospital, where they
Trial.
do all the biopsies and all that kind of shit. Those are nutty people. The squints, as they say on Bones. She came up to me and says,
Trial.
I don't know why, but your thing will not culture. I said, and I looked at her and I
Trial.
went, probably not from this dimension of reality. She went, oh, yeah, and walked away. She didn't get it, okay, she didn't get it, but, she just went, yeah, whatever.
Trial.
Whatever makes you feel good.
Didn't get it at all.
Yeah, and so I went on to, they said, well, it's like, I want to go home tomorrow. They said, you can't. I said, why not?
Trial.
And one of the things that had happened is my wife came to visit me. And I had said to them, I'd written them a note, I cannot, I tell my wife, I'm sorry, I can't see her
Trial.
tonight. I am not capable of talking or doing anything.
Trial.
They didn't give her the note, they just said, your husband won't see you tonight.
Trial.
The next day, she said, I'm not ever coming to see you again.
Trial.
Because of misunderstanding.
Yeah, by what they said, not what I had written. They didn't show her the note. They just told her what they thought she needed to
Trial.
hear. But that ended our marriage.
Was this the one that you asked to fight every battle with
Trial.
Yes,
you? Not with, no.
not on my side, yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So, this is what happened, and I was like, I went, okay, I'm gonna get up.
Trial.
I said, well, sir, you have to walk for at least a couple of days to do it. And I said, okay. I got up and I walked around the hospital nonstop. And I would use MTVSS every time my body started to hurt. I would do
Trial.
MTVSS while I did it, and my body kept on going, and I kept walking. They said, well, you just walked. It's like, that's not enough. And I said, how about if I dance? So I danced.
Trial.
This is one of the reasons I love Arthur, because he would be that kind of guy. I didn't do that
Trial.
one, but if I had thought about it, I would have. But I did, I did dance, and it's like, want to dance with me? And it's like,
Trial.
and they said, okay, fine, sir, you can go home tomorrow.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so they let me go
Trial.
home. And it's like, and I went and I stayed with somebody, and and they took care of me because my
Trial.
wife would not have anything to do with me. And that was the beginning of my journey into where I am now, where we are now. Okay?
Trial.
This is not for publication. This is not for, don't share this.
Trial.
Fucking don't ever fucking share this. If it comes back to me, I'll find out who did it and I'll fucking fuck you up in a way you can't imagine. Okay.
No violence.
But that also
Trial.
was one of those things where you can't you can't maintain what was.
Yeah. You cannot maintain what was, and that's when I began to
Trial.
know. And right after that is when I had all these people from the Philadelphia program show up.
Well, actually, right after that was when the Golden Planet story started downloading
Trial.
itself into both of our awarenesses. Because part of what I was doing when I was working on him, I'm like,
Trial.
Raz, show me what to do, man.
Because that's how I channeled Rasputin.
And these guys are with me.
You know, everybody else does, Archangel Michael or, Gabriel or somebody. I get the fucking mad monk of Moscow.
And these guys were there all the time. And I'm like, guys, show me what to do. I'm like, please help. And every single fucking day, man. And it was like this, not just Gary, but it was kind of like, what's his name? X-Men, Xavier, yeah, tapping into all the, but it was like,
Trial.
and I was like, holy fuck, what? And then the Golden Planet story
Trial.
started downloading itself because having this awareness that this had been done to kill all of his
Trial.
bodies throughout all lifetimes, it was like, okay, who would do such a thing
And why?
and why? And we would get one piece and we would talk about it.
Trial.
And there was one time where we had been getting these awarenesses of things being done electromagnetically and different
Trial.
things. And there was one time where I had gotten this, we were asking a question, and Gary said, who, something, and I got these almond eyes, the typical alien face you see. I'm like, okay, this is gonna sound really weird, but I'm getting an alien
Trial.
face, like those almond eyes, and you're like, oh my God, me too. Okay, so let's look in that direction. And it was only from the things that were light that we just kept following and following and following.
Yeah.
Trial.
Oh, Joy.
So that is part of what developed Access as it is, and part of the reason that we do Interesting Point of View as a real point of view. Not as something you just say, but something you actually be.
And it's also part of that,
Trial.
I would talk to people a long time when facilitating an SOP class, talking to them about
Trial.
how looking from such a different place is always where you're going to get the freedom. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. But from turn it 180 degrees, because all the
Trial.
limitation is something from this invented reality that
From this programmed reality.
programmed reality for the last 4 trillion years.
Yeah.
Trial.
4 trillion years.
And if you remember from the Golden Planet story, one of the things we say is
Trial.
we knew there would come a time where their machinery would break down enough to where we could actually awaken consciousness.
Their machinery is
Trial.
breaking down, and this class will break it further.
Please.
Okay? Thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, thank you for telling us that story. So when you were talking yesterday about ungluing your body from this
Trial.
reality, I had an aha moment for me, which was
Trial.
that I hadn't realized when you said step into a reality that's beyond this reality, that includes your body as well
Trial.
as your being.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is it just the body processes, the acknowledgement and the
Trial.
clearings to undo anywhere we're glued in this reality, just a
That's the
continuous?
easiest way to do it.
Trial.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the way you did it.
You could do it the way I did it.
Oh, there you go.
Try to die and, have a tube stuck down your throat and all that kind of stuff if you want.
Okay. No, that's good clarity. Thank you for that. And then how does autism play with all
Trial.
of this?
Autism is a person who actually doesn't buy into the program and has no way of properly
Trial.
buying into it.
There's
Trial.
no proper buy-in. So good.
Okay. And then what about like
Your money doesn't buy anything. The autistic's money
Trial.
doesn't buy any part of this program. They don't
Trial.
have the ability.
Wow. Holy shit. That's really cool.
trial,
Yeah,
Well, because I know you've talked about having one, not a polarity of a
Trial.
left and right brain, but
Yeah.
one hemisphere.
yes, they have one whole brain, they don't have a left brain and right brain.
trial,
Okay. And then what about like the X-Men? And how does that relate to all
Trial.
of this as well?
It's all part of not buying into the programming. The X-Men can't buy into the programming as easy
Trial.
as the humans do. The humans buy into it very well and love it.
Okay. And then can you speak about the
Trial.
difference between indifference versus actually being interesting point of view or having no point of view?
Indifference is a applied system in which you have ignored what you're aware of.
trial,
Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. That's good to know. And then loud, and this makes more sense now with this class.
Trial.
Loud noise is for years been very difficult for me to be around. And you said, be 100,000 miles out in all directions. That doesn't seem to really
trial,
do it. Is that the negative, positive, negative?
Most
Just keep
likely.
clearing.
Quite possibly. But that's the reason
Okay.
I said use all the big five that creates that and pock and pod that.
trial,
Okay. Okay. And then I had another aha moment today where for years, lifetimes, you've been saying choice creates.
Trial.
Yeah.
And I just realized that, like yesterday, Dan, you said like when you're being the question, like you're pure magic and it's like you don't even have to say anything, you're just being it.
Trial.
And that's like choice creates, and that when you're doing choice from this reality, you're just creating more of the negative,
Trial.
positive, negative.
Yeah. That was brilliant,
Holy
Dane,
shit.
by the way.
Would you?
I just said that was brilliant of him to say.
Thank you.
trial,
And then with things like, I know for years, we've undone so much of the metaphysical stuff. Is that all the same, the radio frequency, the EM, the electromagnetics and all of
Trial.
that, or is that something different?
Ask me that again.
A lot of people on this planet function from the metaphysical stuff. Is
Trial.
that also that control from the electromagnetics?
Yeah, it's another
or-
program. It's like metaphysics is just a fucking another religion. Get real.
It's another religion promising you that it takes you beyond reality, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Trial.
and it's all about how it has the answer.
And it's all about how having better judgment is the
Better
answer.
judgment, yeah, is the answer. I have better judgment of what's
You're
correct.
superior to those people
Trial.
who don't use purple light.
So that's all the right and wrong, the morality, all of that's the polarity of
Yeah.
the negative. Okay.
It's not all that, it's not the negative, it's part of the programming. It's the electromagnetic programming to get you to live from right and wrong,
Trial.
not from choice.
Well, and that's why I know in the 9 trainings, we talked about like the
Trial.
hesitation. I'm like, oh, programming,
Yeah,
holy shit. And then the other day, 2 days ago, you said, like, ask the big five
trial,
to remove all the things in your body that keep you returning to like
Trial.
Yeah.
the big five or the actualizers. And then you made the comment, oh, they're not going to like that.
trial,
So
the AI is artificial intelligence, which has to find a way to deal with what's going on. And they cannot do many things or
Trial.
anything with, question.
There's no way to provide a conclusion
Trial.
to question.
Yeah.
So when you say they're not going to like that, they're not going to like it, but how can they detect it if
trial,
so basically it only works if you're
They
being
listen to your fucking mind, lady.
okay.
You don't get that they're paying attention to everything you're doing, and when you're
Trial.
coming to conclusion, then they know what to program, how to program you. It's like
Okay.
having, it's like having Alexa in your house all the time. Listens to every conversation you have and then sends you,
Trial.
advertisements that are going to be appropriate for you personally.
No, Gary, those are her recommendations,
Oh, okay, sorry.
because she likes you.
Trial.
She doesn't like me.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Siri doesn't like me, and Alexa doesn't like me.
I like the way he raises his tone.
Trial.
So to ad lib, unless you're actually being the question and actually being allowance, you're fine.
Trial.
Yeah,
Okay, good to know. All right, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
the problem is you like being fucked in that
Trial.
way.
Ooh, can you say more?
Just that you like it. You like the limitation, you like the control, you like the limitation, you like the connection with others, you like pretending you're normal,
Trial.
you like pretending you're superior to those, but you won't ever choose to be allowance. All I'm saying is we, as a people, really like what we've been choosing as this reality. We like being a
Trial.
guru. We like controlling others. We like being pissed off when they don't do what we want. We like pretending that we're not pissed off. We're actually hurt when they don't do what we want. We like
I'm
pretending
hurt.
that we're not
I'm
angry.
hurt. I'm hurt. I'm
We're
not
like
angry, I'm
pretending-
just hurt. You hurt my feelings.
Trial.
What the
Okay,
fuck
well,
does hurt feelings mean?
This hurts.
How does one hurt feelings? Don't you guys ever question this shit? How did I hurt your feelings? And what feeling did I hurt? And how did I do it? Yeah,
Trial.
and how much of that is just control?
Wow. Well, thanks for being so blunt about that.
Trial.
That makes it so utterly clear.
Good.
And
Trial.
Thank you.
Choice create I know we're getting tons of change here, and any change?
Trial.
No, you're getting it. You're fine. Next, who's next?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Trial.
Really?
What's your question?
Oh no, he's doing an. He was. Looking
I was
at
still
Nirmala.
responding to Nirmada.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So, are the electromagnetics what creates the left and right brain separation?
I don't have an answer for you on
Great.
that.
Thanks. Okay, that was my quick question.
Okay, good. All right. So, Hillary,
Trial.
apparently you're next. Again.
Yeah,
Next again. Jeez, what?
again. So I was watching a program about turtles
Trial.
and how when they're born, they just go off and swim in the sea, collecting like the stardust, which connects to this unique magnetic part in their brain to bring
Did
them
you say
back
they're
to the same
connecting
beat.
stardust? Collecting stardust?
Yeah, it's in the oceans. Yeah, that was David Attenborough was talking about, like
Trial.
being in the ocean. They swim for like 25 years, collecting like the stardust to connect with their
Trial.
uniqueness in their brain, which then gives them the autopilot to go back to the beach where they were born.
Well, maybe we're not done with the children's books.
Trial.
Baby Turtle Stardust Manifesto.
Trial.
Just
Anyway,
kidding,
I
I'm
was
so
just
done with
sort
the
of
children's
wondering, it's
books,
like
except that lazy cunt children's book I'm about to write. Other than that one. Get out and take care of us, all right, the end of story, go. Sorry, go ahead. Turtle Stardust,
Yeah, so-
returning to home.
Yeah, well, but
Trial.
it was just like looking at like the uniqueness of like our brains and what we're like this programming of like continuously bringing us back to this like autopilot. And then
Trial.
also like with our nervous system, which is this like fight and flee sort of like continuous sort of bombardment of that.
Trial.
Right.
Well,
Trial.
I will say thank you for the energetic awareness that you just contributed.
Okay.
For me,
Trial.
I don't know that there are words other
Trial.
than to a certain extent, your brain functions from capacities you as a being have. That has then, like we've talked about this magnetic
Trial.
stuff, it's been seen as though that is the source and the requirement and what is relied upon, and to a certain extent, limited by the electromagnetics, when in actuality, what you would have as a brain and what you do have as a brain is something that
Trial.
is actually miraculous.
I mean, the brain was designed to run your whole body, but we only use 6% of it. So what does that tell you?
Trial.
Yeah, wow.
If we only use 6% of our brain, how much, how much are we not being or doing because we're not
Trial.
using all of our brain? And we did have
And that's
this one, body process for, 100%, 10%
Trial.
magnet, or something, I don't know, what was it?
90% brain capacity and
9%,
function.
yeah, 90% brain
Trial.
capacity. But nobody wanted to run it.
Cool.
Trial.
Is that in any of the, have we got it in any of the?
Yeah, it's in all the manuals.
All of them.
It was in the manuals for years. I think it's still there. I just left it in there because nobody did it anyway.
Trial.
Cool.
It's part of the
Everybody.
3-day,
Have a look
but
at
a
that
whole
one.
lot of people didn't bother. But a few people did, and they're smart people.
Trial.
And they're smarter than the average bear and think they're blonde. Yes?
Yeah, because it's like
Trial.
that level of once, like we can tap into that space, it's like that power that we can then choose, like.
Trial.
Well, it's like
really
you got to,
to
yeah, it's
go-
like, first of all, you got to acknowledge the fact that you have the power to change things and recognize what you're capable of changing. What I saw with my body in the hospital
Trial.
was that I could change fucking anything, everything, and I did not need medicine.
No. My body's pretty miraculous, I have to say.
Miniaculous. Yeah,
Miraculous,
yeah.
yeah.
Trial.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay. We, Monica had a question.
So
Trial.
language, I can do this. So when you were saying about, like with Alexa, that they're like picking up on our
Yeah.
thoughts and whatnot, that
Trial.
gets to what I was trying to bring up earlier about being aware of other people's thoughts, like the wavelength of
Trial.
it, where you can kind of sense it impacting your body.
It only impacts your body if you're trying to make it real.
Trial.
Okay, that's great. This is cool because yesterday, I was noticing
Trial.
this. It was right before the ESC, and there was this sense of like the space being like pulled apart, and then kind of like watching all of this stuff.
You are only pulled apart because
Trial.
you're trying to make some part of it real.
Actually, I was pulling the space apart rather dynamically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pulling
Trial.
whatever has been called space apart, but I say it was actually we. I just know my job is to use you
Trial.
to accomplish consciousness's objectives. So I was using Gary and you, and we were all using each other.
Yeah.
But it's like, what is?
Trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This-
How about what can be?
Yeah, this is so cool because it was like I was kind of
Trial.
aware of this, and then all of this stuff moving through, and I get where I have been
Trial.
You
putting
try
so
to
much
see-
energy into
you-
making it
you-
real.
Well, you try to make it real and you try to make it relevant. If
And-
I'm aware of
yeah.
it, then what's relevant about
Trial.
it?
Well,
No.
and
Just
try
because
to-
I'm aware of it doesn't mean it's relevant. Awareness does not create relevance.
Trial.
Relevance creates relevance when it's relevant.
Okay, there's something with like,
Trial.
okay, so this is possibly a coping mechanism that I would like some assistance with,
Sure.
which is the like it's like I've been
trial,
definitely making things real that I don't need to, and making things
Okay.
relevant that I'm
You-
aware of.
You have to ask, what is relevant in this? The amount of information you receive is
Trial.
far greater than your ability to
Cognite.
trial,
to process.
Well, it's like I have this sense of like I've been.
Whoa. What if, how much of this electromagnetic thing is what creates you trying to process all of your awareness?
It does. That's
Rather
what it
than
does.
have it and be it and use it,
trial,
magic it,
Yeah. Yes.
everything that is.
So everything you've done with that, we just try and create all that.
Running around getting mad, bottom buck all night,
Yes.
shorts, boys,
This is
pove as a
awesome.
motherfucking Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's so cool because that's exactly the
Trial.
sense that I had of like being aware of something and then it having a charge and me being like, okay, I have all of these points of
Trial.
view about that
You
it's
have
relevant.
no points of view, darling. You are cute, but you are an idiot. Because you think you have points of view when you have no points of view. They're everybody else's points of view that you're aware of.
trial,
Okay. So those things that I've been. So
That might apply to a few others of you in here, you fucking idiots.
trial,
Maybe.
So, okay. Because
trial,
I'm just gonna say what it's like almost like being in a video game and there are these things floating
Trial.
through the air and kind of like bouncing
Yes,
off
but
of
you're
them.
trying to make it relevant.
Yeah.
And rather
I
than,
get that.
okay, what other choices do I have? Get to a question.
Okay, cool.
You're trying to figure the
Trial.
relevance of it and what you do with it, rather than realizing, okay, do I need to do anything with this?
I guess yes. Yeah. And I have this
Trial.
sense of something that I have been doing that I didn't
Trial.
realize I had just different choices around, but like with my body about like
Trial.
the space of like choosing to bounce up, choosing to be positive, negative. Does that make
Trial.
sense? I don't know if that's
Yes,
okay. So
makes sense to me.
Okay,
But then
cool,
everything makes
cool.
sense to me.
so then choosing.
nothing's wrong.
trial,
Okay, so then what question can I be
trial,
with my body around this?
No. Why do you keep forcing your body to be abused with feelings?
This is what I am
Why
wondering
do
about.
you choose to feel through
Trial.
your body instead of use your awareness? And sense what's relevant.
trial,
Well, how much
Yeah.
have we been programmed to believe that's the purpose of our
Trial.
bodies? Wow. Because you know how we say
Trial.
that body's like the cat's whiskers? But it's like, how much have we been programmed to believe that we have to sense through our bodies?
trial,
So we can't just
Yeah.
have awareness, but so that we can be limited by the sense and awareness we have through our bodies.
trial,
Because you also, before that, had to go to the idea that your body is physical, which is a positive,
And it's
negative,
finite.
positive, negative, and it's
Physical
finite.
and finite.
But it's not either.
It's not
Trial.
physical and it's not finite. It's made up through your head.
Yep.
You create it every day.
Everything that is, and all the electromagnetics, and all the big five,
Trial.
all the programming.
We're
we
destroying and
created.
all. Right,
Times a
wrong, good
gazillion.
and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povers, and beyonds.
I mean,
Trial.
that's so cool because in the ABC,
Yeah.
first of all, thank you so much for this. This is my
trial,
number. So
Cool.
thank you.
Thank you.
And in the ABC,
trial,
you said something about like
trial,
physical, like what we have decided is physical, or what we buy as physical, and that, you know, it's energetic. that everything is energy
Trial.
and all of the things that we've defined as physical. There's just,
Yes, but you have physical defined in order to have limitation.
Trial.
totally, wow.
You have physical defined in order to have limitation.
Trial.
Don't bother memeing that. Nobody will get it.
No, nobody will ever get it.
One more time.
Physical defined
Trial.
In
in
order
order
to
to
create
have-
limitation.
to create limitation and to have it.
That one definition. That one definition.
Trial.
That one definition opens the door for all limitation.
And it brings up this like survival.
No, survival is the programming here, that you must survive.
Trial.
And that there is no thrival, there is only survival, so you therefore must be subject to the physical limitation that your body imbues and imbibes and thrives from. Everything that is and all the electromagnetic creating, that way you destroy and create it all.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyond.
Thank you.
Dude.
Trial.
Okay, Miss Claudia.
Hey,
Dude.
I guess that has a lot to do with it, what Monica was talking about.
Yeah.
Trial.
There's two classes that are very uncomfortable for me and my body. That is X-Men and this one.
Trial.
I just want to get up and run away. My body's so weird. So
What was the
is
first one?
this-
Tex-Mex? Oh,
X-Men.
X-Men. Oh, I thought it was
Trial.
Tex-Mex. That's uncomfortable
Tex-Mex.
for me, too.
Tex-Mex I would run from too.
We real
But that's-
Mexicans don't appreciate Tex-Mex,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
understand.
that's horrible. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah. I'll run away
Trial.
from that too.
gotcha.
Okay, so what you gotta get is you either have too much electricity or too much magnetics connected to those. Which is it? Magnetic
Trial.
or electric?
Magnetic,
Magnetic, yes.
electric.
So all the magnetic that
Trial.
is designed to get you into a negative stance with a positive action of only leaving. So that you can never have the power
Trial.
that you have, where you destroy and create all that is.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys,
Now-
povads, and beyond.
For you personally, part of that is your ability to see futures and to actualize them at the appropriate times. You keep trying to be ahead of the game instead of being the head of the game.
Trial.
Everything that is times a God's zillion, we destroy and create it all.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys,
Trial.
povads, and beyond.
You've got to create it, not be ahead of it.
Trial.
You keep trying to be ahead of it instead of
Wow.
being in charge. Do you understand what I'm
Trial.
saying? This is not an easy concept to get, and I understand that.
I think so. I think it's more like I'm trying to like put fires away before they're there,
Yeah,
but I can actually just
Trial.
create whatever the future is.
yes, you can just allow. And that's why these particular classes are difficult for
Trial.
you, because X-Man is not about allowance, nor is this about allowance. This is where you have to learn to
Trial.
function with that electromagnetic shit and not be the effect of it by knowing that you can choose what can change it.
Trial.
What can I choose that will change all this, not what am I the effect of and why do I need to leave?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, thank you so
Trial.
much.
That's as short as I can explain it, and I hopefully you got it.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's
Trial.
next?
Pretty amazing.
Next we have Viv.
Hello, Miss Adcock.
Hello, gentlemen.
Trial.
How are you?
Gary, I'm great.
I'm really great. Can you, I hope I'm not taking the class off where we were going, but that living distractor implant, can you just talk a bit more about that? Because this is one I've never really got a depth of or a concept of, or what it actually is as a distractor implant.
Living, do people live here or do they have a life?
They have a life.
Yes, so living is considered a distractor implant so that you will never choose it. It's the one good thing that's in the land of the bad things so that you never are willing to choose living.
So I wonder if I've got something twisted, because yesterday when I was talking to you about receiving and being with the castle, and I cast aside the whole being part, have I got something mixed up there with living and being, or?
No, if you're being, you have no choice but to live.
Can you say that again, please?
If you're being, you have no choice but to live.
Okay, so
Because you cannot have a life unless you cannot live unless you're being, and you cannot have a life unless you've been, in its past tense.
Yeah, that's starting to sink in.
You know, and unfortunately for you, you like living.
What?
I do.
No, she don't.
Very much.
You know?
No.
But she will do been so that she doesn't have to ride alone. Been, past tense. Yeah.
Ben.
She'll be Ben. Yeah. Okay,
Ben.
no. Ben. I have been this. I have done this. I know that in order for this to be, I'm not going to be this. I'm going to have this as my past. In the past, I've ridden with somebody all the time, so I have to have somebody to go with me. You know, luckily I'd had this experience at the hospital, so when Dane wanted to ride Playboy, and it's like, and I went, oh, fuck. You know, what am I going to do? Because he wants to ride this horse. And I went, okay, I got my phone. I guess I could call a helicopter if he falls off. Okay, fine. You can ride the horse. He got on the horse. The horse looked at him, and he looked at the horse, and it's like, fucking Black Beauty is real. Love was in the clouds, man. I mean, it's like they looked at each other, and it was like this match made in heaven. Now, Dane, I had people, I could ride this horse, and he would never run away with me. But I had other people who would get on him and try to ride him, and unless they held him really tightly, he would run away with him. Dane got on him, kicked him into a gallop, and let his reins hang down to the fucking ground. And the horse just went bloop, deep bloop, deep bloop, deep bloop. Horses don't do that shit. But he did for him. Dane would fall off. He always landed on his feet.
Just
Weird.
helpful.
You know.
By the way, if you're going to fall off a horse, I suggest landing on your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Better than landing on your shoulder. You know. So, but don't tell Francesca, okay? And yeah, she got the memo. Yeah. So it's like, but he would fall off the horse, and the horse would turn around and come and get him. Have you ever had a horse come back and get you when you fell off? They don't do that. They run away and run home.
Every time he would come back and get me.
Yeah.
Until one time I was like, Gary said this. He was like, you do not realize how different this is. I'm like, oh, Gary, that's a Gary story.
That's just a story.
It's just a Gary
Gary's
story.
full of shit.
And I remember saying that. And so we were running up a hill, and he spooked at these cows that came out of the woods and turned 180 degrees and threw me off. I
He
fell
didn't
off.
throw him off. He fell off and he landed on his feet, the fucker.
Trial.
And he runs down the hill. And I run after him and he keeps
Trial.
running away. And I'm like, Gary, who was on the other horse, I'm like, catch him. And he's like, okay. So Playboy walks right up to Gary and basically puts the reins in his hand.
Yes.
And he walks Playboy back up to me. And I look at him, I'm like, what the fuck was that? He's like, see, I could run away if I want to. I just choose not to. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And of course, this is my horse.
Yeah.
Okay?
And, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like he died and he took over Wapo's body when Wapo was born. And now he's back in a body.
Trial.
And it's like, and I went, are you Playboy? Yes. You know, he looked at me directly in the eye and I went, are you Playboy? And he goes,
Trial.
hello. You know, and it's like, and I'm going, holy fuck, horses don't do this. Yes, they do. You know, so it is there and it is possible.
And we were talking to Duke cleaning the stalls this morning.
Yeah.
And he was telling us all the names of all the stallions.
Duke or Deacon?
Duke. Deacon? I thought he said Duke. Deacon.
Trial.
And he nearly cried talking about Guapo. He's like,
Really?
oh man, that's the most beautiful horse. And he's like, he's got more manners than most people.
He does. True story.
Trial.
So cool.
That's because he will pee in the same spot every time. Stallions do that. Mares don't. They pee everywhere.
Trial.
You know, but stallions will pee in the same spot and shit in the same spot because they don't want to mix it.
Just like women, just kidding.
Trial.
Okay, good.
Just to clarify.
I was about to ask.
Thank you.
No.
Simone came in today and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna pee in the toilet. And I was like,
Trial.
is there somewhere else you thought about peeing? Is this like a new choice for you or what? It's like nowhere else, just the toilet. Thank you. See, you know how I was talking the other day about the blind spots?
Trial.
And here's the thing about your blind spots. I realized today yet more of those. Oh God. And the thing about it is, it's not something that ever goes through your head as something that you have a point of view about
Trial.
or avoiding. It's just a blind spot. You can't see it. Hence the word blind in blind spot. And so one of my places where I was not willing to have was this fucking immense presence of being that Playboy always invited me to. And so what would happen is I would resist riding him. I would resist going out. You know, it's a 20-minute drive in Santa fucking Barbara, which is, Jesus, a 20-minute drive on Paradise Lanes to Paradise Road, literally Paradise Road. And to ride him, and I wouldn't do it because I was avoiding what he showed me that I am. And I'd fucking avoid it because he was showing me what I am.
And the way you always showed him was by bucking or rearing or running.
Totally. And every time I'd be like, you know, it's one of those things that after you avoid it, then you do it, you're like, why did I avoid this? But before that, you're in fucking avoidance mode. So here we are, fast forward to Playboy got cancer because of that, because I was not going to see him, because I was not energetically engaging with him.
The doctor said he had 6 months.
And he died, what, 6 years later? Yeah. Here at the ranch.
Because Dane said, I said, just put your energy with him. That's all he wants.
Trial.
And he did, and the horse was fine. The lumps didn't get bigger. The horse didn't die.
Trial.
It's like he kept going.
And going.
And we got 6 more years out of him after the vet said he's got 6 months.
And going. And so this horse died,
but he wasn't going to die until he got a new body coming.
Exactly.
You know, and as a Costa Sensei, he's 17 hands high. They don't have 17-hand Costa Senseis.
For those of you that don't know horses, that's a tall fucking horse. Okay, of any horse, you know. But this is a tall horse. And when he died, I talked to him and I went, dude, I'm so sorry. There's so much I was not willing to receive. I'm so grateful for everything you've shown me.
And that's when he decided he was coming back to get a new body.
And I told him, I said, if you do come back, I'm going to do it differently next time. Okay. And I was out there today. And I think I told you guys about this experience that I had with this tree at the ABC where it was like, this is us. And it was so intense that I just lost my shit for hours. And found beyond my shit. It was so beautiful and so intense and so much meaning. Well, yesterday there was an awareness I had while these guys were talking, Cody and Gary were talking about how, I was like, when Cody was saying, hey, do something outside your comfort zone, ride a horse outside your comfort zone and go progress. And I was like, dude, I have not been. And then I had this awareness of the same thing, the same intensity that tree showed me with every element of consciousness, being able to have it with Guapo. As I got on him this morning, I'm like, holy fuck.
He was having so much fun today.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so great.
And it was terrible to see the happiness in his face.
It's terrible for both of us. But I just, I don't know if this
Start
is
having the happiness that you can have, Miss Viv. You keep trying to be a serious English woman.
Yeah.
Serious?
And thank you, Dane, because
doesn't suit
that's
you.
Just
Trial.
No, not at all. Thank you, Dane. That's just downloaded a whole bunch of.
So glad.
Trial.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Because one of the things I see in you, if I may say,
Trial.
that way of
So much.
turning oneself down or twisting oneself into less enthusiasm, less liveliness, that I've done most of my whole life. It's like to such a degree that I thought I was living and I didn't even realize I've been barely alive. I'm just realizing in the last few days how barely alive I've chosen to be. Thank you, Revolution.
I hope some of the rest of you have gotten a similar sort of point of view and awareness. It's like, and if you didn't, okay, go back to, worrying about your relationships. It's fine.
There you go. But I just want to acknowledge in you that enthusiasm for living.
Yes. You have more of an enthusiasm for living than 99% of the people out there, and you act like there's something wrong with you.
And that you're somehow an Aussie English lady, but you're not.
Yeah, well, I'm over all of that shit now.
Good.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So be the cunt you actually are.
Be the what?
Cunt you actually are.
Yes.
Add cunt.
Add cunt.
Viv, add cunt.
Thank you, Sarah.
Trial.
I love Sarah. Cool. All right. Thank you, dear one.
There's just something else I wanted to comment on. Was a while ago in a class, I think it was in Noosa, you talked about the elementals and you actually listed the elementals. And I've done, can you, maybe I'm already being this and I'm not acknowledging it or just choosing more of it. Because when I look at that, the elementals, how much, what you were just talking about, Dane, then it's like that is the absolute embodiment of those.
Yeah.
And when we're being that, there's none of this electrical, magnetic, there's nothing can penetrate that. Nothing's greater than that.
Nope.
Yep.
So the conversation I had with you, Gary, in one class was, I was asking you, what is it you be when you walk onto Elgar and everything that hasn't been working suddenly starts to find its flow again and starts moving again. So is it because there is no electrical, there's no conclusion. There's none
Well,
of that.
the thing about
magnetic
El
stuff.
Lugar and places like El Lugar,
Trial.
and there are a few of them around the world, and like this ranch is one of those places, okay? Is like they have such a
Trial.
strong acoustical wavelength that it's almost impossible to have discord.
Trial.
And what I do at El Lugar is when things get into discord, I go there and straighten them out. And I'm getting better thanks
Trial.
to Sean, who I told him he needed to straighten him out when he was there. You know, and he was just going there to handle shit. Now he's handling the real shit instead of
Trial.
the wrong shit. And I told him he had to, work with the
Trial.
grids of the earth there and bring the acoustical wavelengths back. And he did, and it does, and it works.
Trial.
Okay, so what would it take to be that 24/7, to have that dominance of
What he said,
Choice,
what he said,
choice,
what he said.
choice.
Choice.
Trial.
And what he said.
so that it was
Trial.
like with the castle, I was hungering, I was starving to get back there. The first time I went was when it was still in major renovation mode. They just laid the marble down in the reception area the last time I was there. So to revisit 5 years later, it was like I was,
Can I ask you a question?
well, whatever. Yes.
When you went there the first time,
Trial.
did you see what you saw the second time? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because it was saying what it wanted to be.
Yes.
When I walked in, I could see it
Trial.
done, which is really weird. Because it's like literally there were spaces like where the public restroom is right now, just off the reception. That was filled with old
Trial.
old toilets and sinks and crap and rocks and dirt. Where the refrigerators are now was another
Trial.
place filled with old crap.
Yeah.
Where the hallway is to go outside to the back
Trial.
had the caisson in it that is now downstairs as a bar. Used to carry a cannon, I think.
Wow.
So, I saw what it would be, and it has become that. And it's like, and every time I feel something discordant, I go, okay, what do I need to replace
Trial.
this with? And then something shows up, and that's what I replace it with.
Trial.
I had a really nice place down below, close to the bar area. And I kept thinking, something's missing here. And this guy, Luigi, who I adore,
Trial.
who loves El Lugar and wants to come visit. It's like Luigi is from, where's that place where the Vesuvius
Trial.
Etna.
Pompeii.
No, it's not Pompeii.
Naples.
Naples, yeah. No,
Trial.
It's Naples is the main city.
yeah, Naples, okay. Yeah, he's from Naples. And it's like he collects antiques and he gets the best looking stuff I've ever seen. Fabulous. And so he showed me this one thing that was a font. And I went, what the hell is that? He says, it's for water. And I went,
Trial.
no, it's not. It's for blessing people. I went, what could I use that for? Ooh,
Trial.
we'll fill it with champagne. So now we have the most
Trial.
beautiful pink marble carved champagne container ever.
Wow.
And people are blessed.
We will bless them with some champagne or
Trial.
Prosecco.
So when I went there that first time, I literally took 2 steps up the stairways and just tears just started flowing.
Yeah, because you remembered when you lived like that. See, that's the gift the castle is. It reminds you of when you lived like that and when you gave it up. And when you gave it up. Take it back. It's okay. You can have it again. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
Thank
There's
you.
a beautiful picture that you've got just between the downstairs toilets, the restroom, and the archway out to the back area. And it's a beautiful black and white of horses. And I think it's got something like twixt between duty and love or something.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
Yes. You know, but there's stunning stuff all over the castle. The castle is
Everywhere.
stunning, period.
Yeah.
It's unique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks,
this
Viv.
incredible class. Wow.
Thank you. Who's next?
Next, we have Pamela, the one online, not the one over there.
Pamela online. Hello, Pamela McDowell.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Could you say more about working with the grids of the land?
Yeah, it's like the thing is there are grids across the whole planet, okay? And it's like years ago I took a bunch of grids off. I undid a whole bunch of grids with everybody that were designed to keep us stuck